For years science has recognized that we have two active physical strands of DNA. We also have a further 10 energetic DNA strands which have been dormant within the human being for many centuries. These dormant strands of DNA have been discovered by scientists, who, not knowing the function of these strands, have identified them as junk DNA. These 10 previous dormant strands account for the mass of the brain that has not been accessible. Deoxyribonucleic acid, DNA, is a nucleic acid that contains all the genetic instructions used in the development and functioning of all known living things. The main role of DNA is the long-term storage of information. DNA is often compared to a set of blueprints, since it contains the instructions needed to construct other components of cells. The DNA segments that carry genetic information are called genes, but other DNA sequences have structural purposes, or are involved in regulating the use of genetic information. Our DNA is therefore our personal blueprint set forth by First Source, and the 7 Seeders of Worlds, and contains all of our mental, physical, emotional and spiritual information. All of this information is referred to as the Akash, or all the data that comprises this universe. For close to 500,000 years, humanity has only been able to access a limited frequency of reality using 2 plugged-in DNA strands. DNA is the holographic and multidimensional medium for transmitting and receiving the data of the universe. DNA is linked directly to language, and one causes the other to behave in a matching way. Language is the primary method of programming DNA. One of the greatest revelations one can reach is to understand that they can be and should be the sole programmer of their DNA. Since DNA is an interconnected neural network throughout the cosmos, and since space and time have no effect on DNA, when you change your DNA you change everything in the entire universe. It's important to understand that light is simply information or data. To be more precise, gamma photon light. What many may not be aware of is this light is what we are speaking of when we say language, teaching, words, messages, code, a program and certain other data sources such as music, geometry and art. In a broader explanation of what this light is, it's everything you perceive or sense. The only variable in this data is the frequency or structure of it. The complexity and the level of detail of a form or pattern, the more light or data it contains. You take this light into the body when you sense or perceive the thing. When the data is transmitted into the body vehicle, it is stored in the crystalline structure of the cells and primarily the bone structure of the body. In Ascension terms, the more you are aware or conscious of things, the higher your internal frequency is, meaning you match the faster vibrating more complex forms of data, from that we call lighter densities or higher realms. In reality these realms are not higher, they are faster vibrations of now and here. Inside the 3D matrix an artificial frequency fence was put in place to filter out this complex information. So everyday 3D humans would not be aware of any reality other than the one programmed for them. This reality was programmed to specifically not promote sentient life, but to draw all the energy from the sentience using trickery, illusion, distraction, trauma, control, drama, force, waste, theft, luck and much more, to pull off the grandest scheme ever perpetrated in any universe. The draining of the life force from an entire planetary race of divine beings. As strong angelic beings we like to always insert good news after we tell you what happened to you. The good news is this: it's the dawn of a new day, and many of us have already elevated our way of being to a level where every day we see less and less of the old paradigm. We realize that we are sovereign creators, and we create and live in a world that vibrates with beauty, love, peace, freedom, and harmony. We create and live in a better world where there is no suffering, not only for ourselves, but we are here on a mission holding light in our bodies for those who cannot do it yet. We came to ensure the well-being of all beings that dwell on the earth. This light data we speak of is what comprises the reality you perceive, so you can only imagine what reality/world could be experienced above the low vibrational harsh male-dominant energy 3D level. Does this mean you will not continue to exist in the 3D matrix as you ascend to faster vibrating, more blissful realities? By no means. First of all, you cannot exist in physical form unless you are inside a hologram. Many light workers still do not realize that even the new Earth is still located inside a holographic matrix, just a much nicer one. The only way to exit the matrix is to become non-physical, but as we explain below, this is not part of your overall plan. You came here to enjoy your 5 senses. And the big secret is you are simply God in a body, experiencing yourself in a physical way, not only in human body form, but also in the form of everything that exists in this universe. This is who and what you truly are, and this knowing is the highest attainment that can be reached. Along with this knowing of your real identity, you begin to discover and start using the power you have. How much power do you think you have? You will know fully when you become aware of it all. This is a good point to let you know that there is a shortcut in all of this, and it is to simply start being aware. Be as if it were already so, and it becomes this way. The word being represents the most powerful concept that can be realized. Just be what you already are. This is what being aware means. The Master Jesus knew he was fully God, and he demonstrated it in every way. You are just now starting to realize who and what you truly are. He himself said, "You will do greater things than I am doing." This is what you are beginning to do now, and you will become fully aware of it all when you are ready and when you simply decide to. Everyone else will do it when they are ready and decide to as well. Remember, they are all the same being as you in different bodies, each with a distinct personality and a free will. What an amazing thing if you can see it all, yes? 3D has its purpose, and in fact you keep coming here for a couple of reasons. One is you incarnated over and over until you broke that cycle of evolution. And most importantly, you keep coming here because you love it here? Really? What we mean is you love the enjoyable parts. Wouldn't it be kinda nice here if it was set up in a better way to be pro-life, and all the suffering was not in your face at every turn? When you fully integrate the 5th level where we are, you will start to see 3D with 5D eyes, and all of the low vibrational stuff will not be in your reality. What you see is what is. What you observe becomes your reality. This is Quantum Physics 101. The High Teaching says, see beauty. If you do this, you will see a beautiful and magical reality start to grow up all around you in every area of life. The original human being had 12 strands of DNA actively working and maintaining the full function of the human as a spiritual being. Due to other beings with a controlling agenda to steal our energy, life force, for their gain, by putting unnatural seals around the crystal grid of Gaia that act as an frequency fence against our ability to access universal data, and due to our over-preoccupation with left-brained thinking, and the closing down of our heart centers, these extra DNA strands became disconnected, shut down, and were no longer used. The consequences of this loss are that we live in a primitive, barbaric, spiritually deficient society, and our intuitive and healing abilities have been hugely reduced. We regressed into a stressful survival state that is still prevalent in today's 3D humans. As we said, This has resulted in us only accessing and using a very small part of our brain's ability, and our sense of self, our sense of peace, love, joy, freedom, abundance and health became almost non-existent. The good news is that over linear Earth time, out of sheer strength, intent and willpower, our species has overcome all that has been done to hold it down and has evolved against all odds. This should give you an idea of how powerful and amazing you truly are, to be able to achieve all of this over the eons of being suppressed. It is time for you to be aware of your true nature again and to be the high being that you already are. It's simply a matter now of intending to be a thing and to be aware that you are it already. This just being a thing is an amazing way of recoding DNA, which outputs the reality that you experience. The human body is the most valuable thing we will ever own. It is a very complex biological vehicle with all kinds of controls and abilities that we are just learning how to operate. It stores and holds a wealth of information, wisdom and knowledge on every aspect of ourselves, our world and all of creation. Combinations of intelligence are stored within the human, and a great amount of data is stored inside the body. Inside our bodies are the formulas required to replicate other forms of intelligence throughout the universe. At conception, we receive, from our two different bloodlines, our parents, certain matched and paired recessive genes. These genes hold light codes that give us the highest opportunity for accessing and developing our spiritual abilities and for healing the damaged and wounded aspects of our soul. At the same time, these genes hold memories which have created blocks to our path to oneness, and initiated our deep-rooted feelings of separation from our true essence and first source. This memory of separation has forced us to create experiences and situations where we are given the opportunity to heal ourselves, our world and our separations. We have perceived things in forms of duality and separateness, due to the narrow bandwidth in accessing our DNA. To program your own DNA is to activate it and to reconnect it. Similar to the way brain neural pathways respond to certain stimuli and rewire themselves, allowing certain neurons to fire, causing certain patterns of behavior in a being, and conditions on the body. The super high energies that came in late September 2015 from the galactic core that were anchored as the 5D matrix, are triggering our DNA every hour of every day to plug back into the 12 chakra ports. When a strand fully reconnects to its corresponding chakra portal, it becomes activated, literally lights up like a fiber optic cable, and data start flowing from source energy down through the body and grounds into the crystal core of the earth, completing the grand universal circuit. This is pure God power flowing through and operating fully in the body. As a soul, we carefully picked and chose our parents and their bloodlines in order to facilitate experiences and situations that will enable us to heal ourselves. We have therefore handpicked our own DNA structures and the possible opportunities to activate and awaken further strands of DNA. The energy of our Earth is moving through major vibrational shifts and into higher levels of consciousness. As Gaia raises her vibration, we as human beings are being given many opportunities to raise our vibration. This shift is being referred to as the ascension, and there are many people around the world who are experiencing confusion and chaos in their worlds. Yet in this seeming chaos and confusion lie great opportunities for us to grow, expand and evolve. Understand that this chaos is a natural effect of large amounts of new light data coming into the system so fast and powerful. It first comes in as etheric static noise when it penetrates the grid of Gaia and meets the magnetic aura of the human body. After a short time and during sleep only, the data is integrated into the body, and the ions at the atomic level of the body start spinning faster and faster, causing super-increased stem cell regeneration and new growth. This is the morphing we speak of often, from one species to a higher version of itself. This is our quantum evolution, and this is the way the universe expands all life forms. One of the most exciting aspects of our evolutionary process is the retooling of our DNA. Cosmic light-encoded rays from the pleroma crystal core have been coming into our Earth, stimulating change and reordering our human bodies. As the light-encoded filaments are absorbed into our being, our scattered DNA is being activated and reformed into new helixes or strands of DNA and being reordered into bundles. One of the best ways to think of how the universe works, as well as the human body, is to think of it as a living computer system, because it behaves almost identical to the computer, with the caveat that it is alive, intelligent and soulful. As this rebundling and reordering progresses, we create a more evolved nervous system that facilitates new information and data to move into our consciousness. Many of our dormant brain cells are being awoken, and we are being able to access our full body potential. You are literally morphing into a superhuman that has unlimited supernatural abilities. As our bodies fill with more light, so our memories are opened and we evolve as our DNA evolves into conscious multidimensional beings. Our 12 strands of DNA activate and connect to our 12 chakra points, energy doorways through which we access our spiritual heritage. The 12 strands of DNA serve as links through the 12 chakras to the energy web outside of our bodies. The 12 crystal chakra ports act as energetic portals into our body, connecting us to the vital forces of existence, and these galactic doorways extend to the ends of infinity. It is through opening and activating these portals of energy that we can begin to truly know ourselves. We are so much more than what we thought and what we were told. Again, that was the old program, and its output was only a disappointing error on every level and in every case. Now we are fully aware that we are the programmers alone of our biological body vehicles, and one can prove every time that as he talks to his DNA in a way that is more aligned with the universe and for the good of his soul, the body does exactly what he tells it to do. Remember, this talking to your DNA can be literal words, but it is also a sum total of the vibration you emit. This coding of your DNA works every time in an exact manner that matches your vibration, whether you are conscious of the process or not. We are here to remind you to get back in pilot seat of the great light body ship that brought you here. Do the basic repairs needed on the ship. Recharge the system by taking back your personal power, your energy and life force. Reprogram the computer and the controls of the ship so it will fly again, and set sail for the heavens. This is the great ascension mission you are on. Time to get busy working on you. Do your inner work daily. Clear out the extra cargo baggage that might weigh the ship down and dump it overboard. Let go of the old by saying goodbye and leave what does not vibrate with you behind. Let down your defense shields, open up your heart throttle to allow full universal thrust and flow, and go touch it. As all 12 strands of DNA are now forming, whatever issues we have not dealt with and peacefully cleared in our personal history, will create chaos. Feelings and memories are emerging, offering us an opportunity to experience the fabric of our being, and revealing who we are through the events and beliefs that are intricately woven into us. One must transmute these lower emotional traumas into love by being present with them, expressing them, forgiving others and self, and let it go for goodness sake to clear the chakra engines of energetic debris that bind the body ship to the earth. The task is to awaken, activate and unite all 12 strands of DNA, creating the spinning of the 12. This spinning of the 12 strands of DNA and 12 chakra vortexes will draw to us energies that will intermingle and move throughout our beings, activating and awakening the many different aspects of ourselves. This will trigger new versions, understandings and meanings to all the events in our lives and our world. The great masters have a saying that goes like this: there has been a whole new universe about 3 inches above your head the entire time, so raise yourself up and behold it. Our 12 chakras are collections of energy where events can emerge. They hold memory and identity, and each corresponds to a strand of DNA. These 12 energy centers must be accessed from within, where we can feel the data corresponding with and translating our experiences within the context of our minds. By opening our hearts and minds, all the answers to the great mysteries will be found within. We are required to step out of our current belief systems and to create new belief systems, as the mind is structured to evolve and form our experiences based on what we command. Our mind is not our master. We are the masters of our own minds. The mind is but a tool to be used to create reality and nothing more. By consciously working with the waves of energy and light moving into our earth, especially after Tetrade September 28, 2015, we are able to realize and understand that the transformation of this planet is based upon the healing and power of our minds. Many are already perceiving and adjusting to the brand new uncharted atmosphere we are now in. At the Earth time of this writing, we have arrived at level 5, and level 6 will come months after, not years, decades or eons. After this, the next 6 dimensions will become visible exponentially faster. So buckle up as you prepare to accelerate on your great journey in your super light body ship running the new 5D12D DNA operating system. Activating the full 12 DNA strands will create a connection between our human genetic coding and its intelligent designer, giving us access to all knowledge and wisdom. This is the awareness and understanding of who we truly are. We are no less than the highest creator gods in all universes. The 12-stranded helix version of the human better defines the word human, which literally means God-man. We certainly include the sacred, beautiful, divine God-woman here as well to improve on the system a bit. In activating all 12 strands of DNA, we create a divine alignment within ourselves, allowing us to gently shift into much higher vibrational levels and frequency of light, helping our ascension process by further awakening our human consciousness, where we will fully merge with all of our other selves. Godspeed, great beings of light. Archangel Michael, Prime Pleiadian Ambassador to Earth for the Earth Alliance.